and another great episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. These ladies have it. They even if you don't like what they're doing, you're still entertained. And I have to say, this is the first week in a very long time that I did not find Kyle Richards insufferable. And it's not because I saw her over the weekend at BravoCon. No, over the weekend at BravoCon, she was insufferable. But this week, on this episode, Kyle Richards was not as insufferable. She reminded me of the time when I used to like Kyle. I'm telling you, it was the season, whatever the season was, and it wasn't that long ago, where she was having the fashion show and Dorit came in to help her with the fashion show. That was the season that I completely flipped on Kyle. I was like, who is this woman? I used to like Kyle. I don't care what anyone says. I used to like her. But now, this week, I will say this. Not talking about Kyle's marriage and whatever that is, storyline, real life, I don't know what it is. I will say this, that I found her enjoyable this week. Somewhat. And how are we having a birthday celebration for Crystal? And literally, if you didn't say it was Crystal's birthday, you probably would keep saying, Crystal who? Crystal where? Crystal, I'm sorry. I have to be honest. You know I've been rooting for you. I've been rooting for you. And I'm not going to say what that man said, Jeff Lewis says. But at the same time, I don't know if it's the edit. I know she was at BravoCon, and I keep forgetting that she has this really amazing company. She has the second largest company in the world that does coconut water. Like, I get it. The show is not necessarily about their businesses and their successes. They pick and choose who they want to highlight those things about. But I do think that she has such potential. But this potential can only go so far. Don't get me wrong. In this episode, she had a couple of funny moments talking about perfect nipples. Okay. But I have to say, in the first part, I was like, this is her birthday celebration. And we're so focused on everything and everyone else. All right, I've already gone into everything that I want to talk about. Let's get into a countdown, then let's get into this recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. As always, in the live chat, don't forget to let us know how you would rate this episode from 1 to 10. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And for everything Kempire, head on over to TheKempire.com. Let's get into this recap.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Still in Los Angeles. If you are in the Los Angeles area, we're going to try and do a meetup on Sunday. Stay tuned for the time and place, but we're shooting for Sunday, if not Saturday, but probably Sunday. That might be our best bet, so we can give people time to figure out what they're going to do. So anyways, let's talk about this episode. I didn't take a lot of notes. I want to kind of play this by ear. I took some notes. Okay, so they're in Vegas. I'm a little triggered watching this episode because I'm just coming from Vegas and the chaos of BravoCon. And not even just BravoCon, just the chaos of Vegas. Oh, I'll talk more about that in a separate video, but it was just a lot happening in one weekend. BravoCon was there. There was another convention there with like 200,000 people. So like, there's been all kinds of just like logistical nightmare of getting around Las Vegas that just kind of made Vegas, like I'm watching the episode, I'm just thinking about what I went through there, which is not, look, it's not a lot, but it was just a logistical nightmare. Anyways, so the ladies of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are in Vegas and they're having a fantastic time. So before we even get into their fantastic time or them going to Magic Mike, Garcelle decides she wants to have a dating intervention for Sutton. So, Sutton this season it's all about her dating life, and she has a matchmaker, but apparently she went on a date, and on this date, on the second date, she invited this man to go to New York City. And Dorit was talking about it, and she was just like, come on, Sutton, you don't invite a man to New York City on a second date. But she said if it was the reverse, and when she said that, I was like, that's an important detail. If it was the reverse, a woman might find that sexy. You're inviting me to New York, you're gonna put me on a plane. But for a man, and these, historical, gender-related norms and expectations, a man might be intimidated by that. A man might be intimidated that she, does very well for herself, that she has the money, or that she comes on a little strong. Do you guys think she did too much? I think regardless, if it was male, female, heterosexual, gay, I think asking someone on a second date to go to New York City, if that's not where you live, it might be a little much, especially if you haven't already established, like, oh, I vibe with this person. Like, I'm not going to do it. Even if I could afford to do something like that. On a second date, unless, and I've had really amazing first dates. Have you ever had a really amazing first date where the date you expect, okay, we're going to meet up, we're going to have a little something. They always tell you to have coffee on the first date. And if it goes well, you might turn that into dinner. I've had a first date a few months ago, where it went like that. We had dinner, we vibed really well, and then we just ended up spending hours together. We went for a walk, and then we went for drinks. I don't drink. I got mocktails. In this little French place in the village. First dates are amazing. First dates can be amazing. And I think a date like that, you could see, if you could afford to do something like this. This is Sutton's world, $300-something thousand a month in spousal support, and God only knows how much she's getting paid for Beverly Hills. I can see maybe saying, "Want to go to New York?" If we were in New York, oh, you want to go to LA tomorrow on a date, a second date? We have to keep in mind that this is a caliber of people that are different than us, okay? We are not those people. You know what I mean? We are in a certain tax bracket where we can't just say, I'm going to buy you a ticket and we're going to go around the country or something. Eventually we will be. But I still don't know if I would do that. Unless, like I said, that first date was just so amazing. But according to Sutton, maybe Sutton felt like it was amazing. But I think Dorit, and what she had to say, said, well, if it was the reverse, that would be sexy. Maybe. So you may recall Teddy, had said that Sutton keeps vodka in her purse. So I thought it was funny this week that Sutton literally says, oh, this is what I keep in my purse. I keep grapefruit juice. I don't know what Sutton keeps in a purse. I didn't like the insinuation that the Nat had said that, just because the insinuation that someone has maybe a drinking problem. And then this week she's getting a lot of backlash for mentioning the whole cancer thing to Vicky Gunvalson at BravoCon. She is trying hard to impress Andy Cohen. She's trying to be a shade queen so she can get some sort of position. She wants to be back on this show. At the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills panel, Alexander Rogers went up there and asked Kyle, why do you continue to, this is not how he said it. I'm just going to rephrase it because I can't remember how he said it verbatim. But he was like, why do you insist on, what was the word? I can't remember. Basically, why do you insist on trying to make fetch happen? Meaning, why do you insist on trying to make the Nat happen? AKA Teddy Mellencamp. And she got really defensive about that because she probably has heard that before in the comment section and things like that. And at BravoCon, they expect some shade, but I don't think they expect to be, in those positions. And a lot of the ladies on the cast were like, we love Teddy. Teddy's a really great person. And I'm just like, we have said it before. We don't understand why Kyle continues to force her upon us. We are not interested in Teddy Mellencamp. But Teddy is really her friend. I do believe that Kyle has real friendships with people like Dorit, Teddy, and Sutton. I do believe that. So Sutton apparently keeps grapefruit juice in her purse. Okay, all right. So the ladies are getting ready for Magic Mike. I didn't go to Magic Mike, but you know what I am regretting not going to in Vegas? The Spear. Because a lot of people say you should do the Spear, you should do the Spear. First of all, BravoCon is not the weekend to try and do anything extra. Because that's a all-day affair. And I didn't even go to the night stuff. There's also that. But I am regretting seeing the Spear because I saw a reel talking about the Spear. And when you go inside with that experience, I thought the Spear was just the outside part. No, it's a whole experience inside. So if BravoCon is at Vegas next year, I probably will do the Spear and figure out the logistics of doing that. And the Spear is right next to BravoCon, but I think it's hard to get into as well. But that's pretty cool. How did I get on this? Because we're in Vegas. We're in Vegas. Anyways. Magic Mike. So they're getting ready for Magic Mike. Do they allow men into the Magic Mike thing? Because I wouldn't mind watching. I'm not going to get up on stage. I don't even know why I say that because I'm not even someone that likes strippers like that. But I wouldn't mind watching. Those guys were hot. Look, and Kyle, you know what they say? Once you go black, you never go back. You saw the black guy on her. Anyway, so the ladies, first of all, Dorit and Kyle are like, are we the only ones that did not bring glam? Well, you can't afford glam anymore, allegedly. Kyle has never really brought glam. She could afford to, but she never really brings glam. Garcelle has brought glam. Sutton has brought glam. I understand Crystal bringing glam. It's her birthday. Crystal is very frugal. She has said this before. So if Crystal's bringing glam, it's because she's celebrating her birthday. It's not just because of these ladies. Not just because of the show. Maybe it is. But I really believe she's like, it's my birthday weekend. I want to look my best. I'm going to treat myself. Or maybe it was a gift from her husband. I don't know. But I'm like, good for Crystal. Get you some glam, girl. Get you some glam. All right. So Sutton says she wore pants. She wore pants for this event because she knows what happens at Magic Mike. And this is actually Erika Jayne's surprise for Crystal because she knows the dancers, Mikey's boyfriend or husband, I can't remember, his partner is in the show. And some of her dancers are from Magic Mike. So they go to Magic Mike and they choose Crystal, the birthday girl, and they choose Erika Jayne, who they know. Erika Jayne was really into it. And I kind of, like, part of me is like, it was entertaining to watch Erika Jayne do it, but it's more entertaining and probably funnier to watch someone that's not a performer go up there and be performed on. She just sort of went into performer role. She went into that Erika Jayne role and performed. Enjoyable to watch, but at the same time, it's like, we don't really come to see that. We come to see an awkward Sutton go. So Sutton starts to get a little agitated. She's like, I wore pants for nothing. So Sutton, when we originally saw the preview for this episode, we were like, is Sutton just being a fuddy-duddy? You know where you're going. Like, we all know. Me personally, I'd probably be a fuddy-duddy too. However, I'm not going to Magic Mike. I'm not going to ruin everyone's fun. Because that's not going to be fun for me. So, at first we thought that's what it was. At first. But then it turns out, it seemed, at least in the beginning, that for Sutton, it was more so she wore pants, she bought these dollar bills. She had big plans of doing this Magic Mike thing. Only for her to switch it up. Because she gets really annoyed and she leaves. And she goes to the bathroom. So Garcelle, being a good friend, as usual, goes to check on her. And she's upset. And then she's like, I'm on the board of the American Ballet. And at first I'm thinking, what the hell does that mean? Because at first we don't know why she's storming out. We thought that she was storming out based off of this actual episode was because she didn't get chosen. She felt rejected. And we have to keep in mind, her dating life recently, she's been rejected a lot. All right. So I feel for her, like in this instance, I feel like Sutton's feeling rejected again. All right. So Garcelle goes to check on her. Meanwhile, if she had stayed, they probably would have taken Sutton up there. Just saying. So Kyle goes up there and then she gets turned out by the black man. Just saying. And now all of a sudden, Sutton is making it about her brand, and she's on the board of the American Ballet, and I can't be around this. And she was mostly offended by what Erika Jayne was doing, and the guy going into her crotch and things like that. I don't believe that, Sutton. We love some Sutton on this show, but I don't believe Sutton. You were lying here. You were lying. But she gets really upset when she sees Kyle. Her and Kyle end up getting into it. And I have to say, I was Team Kyle in this particular, I'm Team me all day, every day. But in this particular instance, I was with Kyle. She's like, she's trying to check on you. And now you're talking about your brand. And now you're talking about this. And then and all of this. And I was like, and Kyle was like, this is BS. This woman has been plotting and planning this whole event this entire time. And now she's been rejected, and now it's all about her brand. And, I can't believe that we're doing this. So, and she's like, and Sutton turns on Kyle. She's like, I didn't tell you to come and check on me. I didn't tell you to come check on me. I went to the bathroom. I didn't say anything. Which is true, but people could sense, this is supposed to be a girls' trip, and one of the girls has left because apparently she's upset. So they end up going into the Sprinter to wait for the other girls because Dorit and Erika are like, we're not going to leave. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Even Crystal her birthday ends up leaving. All right. So everyone is expecting Erika to do what Erika's done the last couple of seasons, lose it on Sutton about it. But she actually handles it pretty well. And maybe because Sutton didn't come across like judging to her. Like she didn't say like, oh my God, I can't believe what you did. She didn't do that with Erika. But Erika's just like, what is going on? What are we doing? I did find it interesting that we went to Magic Mike first and then we went to dinner. I thought we'd do the reverse. We go to dinner and then we go to Magic Mike. It just feels late already. So we're going for a late night dinner. I don't know what time it was when they were doing this. All right. So they go for this group dinner. Of course, they play a game. We find out about Crystal's perfect nipples. And Erika Jayne feels as if... I kind of agree with her that Sutton would be the worst in bed. I kind of agree, but it's also those are the ones that you would never think are the freakiest ones. Just saying. I don't know. It was Garcelle who said, how did she even get pregnant? Like, how did this happen? You're such a fuddy. But it's the fuddy-duddies that are really the freaks. You saw how she was ready to do it, and then she got rejected. Anyways, so they had that group dinner. They're all sort of like catching up. I'm loving to see how Erika Jayne and Garcelle are getting along. Garcelle is opening up again about her kids. And, her son is in Vegas. Even during BravoCon, she saw her son. I didn't actually go eat at the restaurant, but when I went to go see Adele on Saturday night of BravoCon, it's in Caesar's Palace. And so is Vanderpump's restaurant. Beautiful, gorgeous restaurant. But I didn't stay. I took a picture of it and I was like, oh, this is really pretty. Which reminds me, I think that's I will do a little tour of. Let me go see Pump, right? No, Pump's not open. Go see Tom Tom, and then go see Sir, just to see it. I'm not planning to eat there. I don't drink, none of that. Anyways, so I digressed. Oh, Garcelle. So Garcelle's son works at the Vegas location, and she talks about her son, his addiction, and of course, Sutton, who knows Garcelle very well, talks about, the struggles that she's been having with her children and things like that. And, Dorit tries to give her words of encouragement. You can only do your best. So that was interesting, but Garcelle's kind of uncomfortable talking about her family and her children because we haven't forgotten this was just last season that we had Mauricio and Kyle and Dorit laughing about what Erika Jayne did. Erika Jayne did later apologize for yelling at Jax. However, even when they flash back to Erika Jayne's apology, Erika Jayne's apology didn't seem sincere to me. She did it, but it didn't seem sincere. Garcelle took it though. Kyle also apologized recently in this latest season because they flash back to when they go to that. I forgot what it was considered. You know, the Dorit planned it in the first episode. So she apologized then. And even her apology, I was like, that doesn't really feel sincere, but okay. She accepted it. Garcelle accepted their apologies. But we also have to keep about the other element. Diana Jenkins, you know, that one. The allegations. I know she tried to file a lawsuit to find the bots. You know, there were allegations that someone in the group may have been involved in the cyber attacks that her son was experiencing on social media. So I can understand why Garcelle might still feel uncomfortable. She's accepted these apologies, but she's like, did you guys know? Were you involved? And even if you weren't involved, did you know that this other person might have been involved? And I don't recall whether or not Garcelle revealed, because I know she had her own investigation into who was behind the bots. And that's the element that she's not talking about on the show. They're only talking about what we saw on the show. They're not talking about the cyber attacks. So I understand where Garcelle is coming from in this moment. She doesn't really want to open up to them, which leads to the next day. Kyle wakes up. Kyle's on her fitness journey. She's not drinking. I did find it funny when Erika was just like, she brought her Birkin with her. What is she doing with the Birkin? Like taking the cash? And I did find that interesting and funny. Kudos to Kyle. Kyle looked great at BravoCon. When I saw Kyle last year at BravoCon, her energy was different. Her energy was very like low and sad. This time around, it was a lot better. And although she was still small then, that's why when people said she was on Ozempic, I was like, I don't know. Unless she's been on Ozempic since then, I don't think so. And also, Ozempic has a look, unless she's on something else. All right. Anyways, but I do believe that she's on this fitness journey. And she has said that recently. So it's like, I've been on this fitness journey and everyone wants to say it's Ozempic. So she's gotten up early to do her workout. And the group is like, what is going on with Kyle? So the ladies meet up. And I have to say, this was a fun trip. Yes, we've had some lows with Sutton. Yes, we have a low in this last scene. However, overall, it was a fun trip. Again, it goes back to what I was saying with Real Housewives of New York City. That girls' trip just was not fun. I don't know why it didn't turn out to be fun, but Roni had some legendary girls' trip. And I have to say, the ultimate girls' trip for Roni Legacy, did you guys notice they put out a little promo? You didn't see Ramona. I mean, of course, they can't edit Ramona out of this current season. But the trailer for the new season, also very limited amount of Ramona, but actually looks good. It actually looks good and fun and enjoyable. Did you guys see it? How'd you feel about it? Replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. I hope you're doing well. How would you rate the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? And guys, have you watched our Real Housewives of, not Salt Lake City, Beverly Hills, sorry. I was thinking about Salt Lake City. Have you watched our recap of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Or, we posted a couple of videos yesterday. Our Married to Medicine recap. We posted a story about Jeezy and Jeannie Mai and that divorce. We also posted our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. So, King's Guards, thank you to our King's Guards. If we can post links to all of that in the live chat, that would be greatly appreciated. Replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts on the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as well. So in this last scene, and of course we have these little scenes I'm not going to go over in between some of the episodes. Like Garcelle and Sutton helping each other, and Garcelle scratching Sutton's back. I love their friendship. It's a real friendship. You know, this is how you are with your own girlfriends. I really truly enjoy their friendship and how they really protect and have fun with each other. So Garcelle confronts the group in this last scene, saying that she's just like, I'm not sure if I trust you guys with talking about my children. And the group, of course, is sort of like, oh, because they're thinking, oh, she's moved on. But she's like, no, I'm going to be vulnerable and be honest with you guys. And I felt like I was being disingenuous by not saying it. And I think it's important for Garcelle to say it, because the only way you're going to be able to move past how you're feeling is by expressing it, instead of just sort of like dismissing it just so that they're comfortable, which we can go down a rabbit hole of where that it comes from. So Dorit seems angry. She literally says, she's like, it makes me angry about what Garcelle is saying. Because Dorit is complicit. Because Dorit was sitting right there when Erika attacked Jax. She was sitting right there when this was being rehashed to Mauricio and PK. And she didn't do anything. So she's been very complicit in this whole situation, and kind of skirted by in regards to the backlash. Like, a lot fell on Kyle, and a lot of, rightfully so, on Erika Jayne. So she says she feels angry, and then she says to Garcelle, like, I mean, we understand how you're feeling, but it's been a year. And it's so funny that she's the one to say this, because your storyline is all about PTSD this season. And you went through a burglary a year ago. It's not the same thing, but both areas are traumatic. Something could have happened to you and your children. What happened to Garcelle and her sons? Something could have happened. You just don't know how being attacked and being told racist things on social media. I've been told all kinds of things on social media. You don't know how that makes someone feel, or what they will do because of what you have said to them on social media. And then a mother who feels like she can't protect her children because she chose a job and to be around women that have subsequently caused this level of vitriol around her and her children. For someone that is going through, and we're not going to talk about whether or not it actually happened or not. We talked about that already, especially about the recent one. But for someone that's talking about PTSD and asking your husband to be a little bit more sensitive to what you're going through, how would you feel if someone said, Dorit, it's been a year, get over it? How would you feel? You wouldn't feel great, because something traumatic happened to you. You would want people to give you grace and opportunity for you to work through your feelings. And that's what Garcelle says. And of course, Garcelle gets turned off, because now you want me to shut off how I'm feeling. You want me to move on from it, because that's what you're subsequently saying. You're saying it's been a year. Yes, it's been a year, and have we fully even talked about this? Have we fully done anything? We had literally a lot of back. We lived it, we filmed it, and then we had to relive it. And then my child was attacked on social media by bots. And then there were a lot of claims that someone on this cast may have been involved. But regardless of any of that, we should still allow Garcelle to feel the way she feels. Even though she feels the way that she feels, she hasn't held that against you. She hasn't treated you differently. But she said, you know what? If we're going to really move forward, if we're really going to heal from what has happened in the last year and a half, I need to be able to tell you how I really feel. That's the only way that we're going to be able to move forward. I appreciate that. That's called emotional maturity. I know Dorit might not have it, but that is emotional maturity. And as I said before, the fact that Dorit's whole storyline this season is about PTSD and how PK doesn't understand where she's coming from, you of all people should understand where Garcelle is coming from. But sometimes people can't, they're so wrapped up in themselves. I know Alexia from Real Housewives of Miami said, the only people that sort of rubbed me the wrong way were the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ladies. And then she listed off, not Garcelle. She was like, not Sutton, not Crystal. And it only left. And she said, not Erika Jayne. And she said, that only leaves Kyle and Dorit. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Just saying. But overall, if I had to rate this episode, I would give it a 9. I thought it was a good episode. It was entertaining. It was fun. I didn't love Sutton and all of a sudden this holier than thou attitude, even though she wanted to be thrown up. Because I wonder if they had chosen her and brought up her on stage, what would we be saying in this episode? Crystal, you did show up a little bit at the dinner table, but for this to be your 40th birthday party, I kind of expected a little bit more of Crystal to be highlighted. And the editors can only do so much, Crystal. I'm still rooting for you, though, girl, because you're living your best life. I think during BravoCon, we found out that her Rolls Royce that she drives is actually owned. I forgot by who. You guys will remind me if you saw this story. Like, Crystal lives that life. And I think the reason why Crystal is still on the show is because they want to keep that level of money on the show. And I still think that Crystal has potential. I know I keep saying that. I still believe that she has potential. But at the same time, Crystal, I can only do so much. All right? I can only do so much. Crystal, little Crystal. Brandy's Christmas album comes out this Friday. You going to listen to it, girl? Because she's a Brandy fan, too. And then some of you are like, Brandy the singer. Crystal loves Brandy, too. Look, I'm trying with Crystal. I'm trying, girl. I really tried. Like, I still like Crystal, though. But damn, for this to be your birthday episode. Look. All right. How would you guys rate this episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? What did you think of the first 3 episodes of this season? Is the show bringing it? Have you watched our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap, our Married to Medicine recap, or our Real Housewives of Potomac recap? Be sure to check those out if you haven't already. Be sure to like this video if you haven't already. Be sure to subscribe. Make sure that you are still subscribed, because that is a thing here on YouTube. And as always, don't forget to turn on your notifications for everything Kempire, including our merch store. Don't forget, we got some really cool merch this season up, available for you right now. And we have, of course, our podcast. I know we haven't had a podcast episode, but we will. Be sure to subscribe to the Kempire Radio podcast on your favorite podcast platforms. A lot of really cool stuff are coming up, and I'm excited to share them with you. Be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast platform, KempireRadio.com. All those details are there. Thank you to our Kings Guards. Thank you to our channel members. To become a channel member, head on over to TeamKempire.com/join. All right. Anything else that I want to say about this episode? It was a good episode. And I will be recapping the Real Housewives of Miami at some point. Hopefully today, but at some point I will definitely get this to you guys. I'm still in LA. I'm trying to enjoy LA. Y'all, I can't believe like the week is already over and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be back in New York soon. Look. But I'm also trying to take things with stride. Trying to just enjoy the moment, just to relax. But I am getting stuff done. You're still getting content. Even during BravoCon weekend, you still got content. Anyways, guys, shout out to our channel members. Be sure to check out everything that you missed over the weekend in regards to your exclusives. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's get out of here, and I will talk to you in the next recap. Bye, y'all.